Hey there, Andrew here. Hope you're all well. In this video, I'm about to give you a full step-by-step tutorial to building a dropshipping e-commerce store, and you'll want to watch it from start to end. It's completely up to date, so throughout the tutorial, I'll be letting you know what you should be doing differently when building a new e-commerce store from scratch this year. So as you can see on my screen here, this is an example of what you'll be able to create by the end of this video. I'm bringing you probably my most valuable YouTube video yet, and it's the only video you'll need to start your Shopify dropshipping store. So within just an hour, you'll be able to produce something like this and start selling to the world. So here's just a quick overview of the store. And so let's get started. We're going to be taking advantage of some new Shopify features. And then, yes, this is a very long YouTube video. I've taken a long time to produce this video for you, but feel free to save this video and come back to it and finish the tutorial at your own pace. All useful links and tools used in this tutorial will be in the description box below, so you can easily follow on and build your store with me. And don't worry, you won't need any skills to start with. No design skills, no Photoshop, no coding. Literally anyone can start and sell to the world within days. All right, so get ready. Let's start building your new online store together in 10 simple steps. I'll leave timestamps to those 10 steps on screen here right now, and clickable links in the description box below for you out of convenience. And feel free to click to those chapters that matter to you. So bookmark this video, give this video a loving thumbs up, and let's follow on. All right, number one, let's first start with actually understanding dropshipping, what it actually is and how does it work these days. E-commerce is the business model, but more specifically, dropshipping is a fulfillment method. Think about it like this. You want to open up a lemonade stand to make some extra cash. You design that store, design the cups, and manage the social media side of things. You work with the supplier of the lemons who gives you the lemons at a low market price, who now also agrees to run the store for you. So whenever you make a sale, he or she is there packaging the juice at the store and giving it out to your customers. You pocket the markup for your marketing and business efforts behind the scenes. Plus, you only pay the supplier for the lemon only when a cup of lemonade is sold. And that is why dropshipping is so easy to start and it's low barrier to entry. But there's quite a few things we need to do this right. We're going to, number one, select the product you want to source and sell. Number two, build an online store around the products. Number three, create a brand. And number four, as soon as you get your sale, we'll automate the process so it's packed, shipped, and received by the buyer without you having to manage it. We're gonna do all of this today in this video, and so let's jump over to the laptop. If you're hyped about building this store together, comment below, I'm ready to level up. Let's build our foundation on Shopify, a powerful yet easy to use e-commerce platform. I have partnered with Shopify to bring you a custom free trial, so feel free to click on the link down in the description box so you can follow on with this tutorial. Once you click on the link, you'll land on this page here. Then you're gonna scroll down and click Start Free Trial, enter in your email address, enter in your password, and your store name. So obviously we haven't yet spoke about what our store name is gonna be. So let's talk about that. There's a few options you can go with here, and I'll give you a couple suggestions. So first, you can either go with a niche or product specific store name. An example of this is Pet Circle. So we're looking at a website or a store that is specifically in the pet niche. And secondly, another example of this is a product specific name. So Galaxy Cove is an example of this, where they produce just this, skylight projector type thing. And the brand name is Galaxy Cove. So you can either go with a niche or product specific store name. And the other option beyond this is you can create a general store. If you're not sure of what you want to sell right now, which may be many of you, and want to test out all sorts of products, use a name that can be rather broad and can be used with just about anything. That's what we call a general store. When it comes to the store and business name, I'll also leave a link down below to a tool that works quite well, which is the Shopify business name generator. So let's go ahead and use that right now, because I've got an idea of what I want to sell and the brand name. So before we actually use this tool, I'm going to show you what I'm planning to sell in this tutorial. So I found this neck massager on AliExpress. More detail about how to find the product in a moment, but just to show you what I'm selling here, this product has a product cost of roughly $25 to $30, and I'll be planning to sell this for $60, so a 50% profit margin. I've done my research, and this product looks quite good. You know, it has 4.8 stars out of 847 reviews, and we have almost 5,000 orders on this product. So pretty solid. Beyond that, there is a lot of great imagery, and they even have a great piece of video content. Let me turn this off. And they have a great piece of video content here, and they have great images. The product quality actually looks quite decent. It even comes with a remote. It comes with a box and USB and a manual too. Overall, the reviews are also terrific. There's very little 1-star ratings and many photos to use as, you know, user content. So let's quickly take a look at this. As you can see, this is the box it comes in. So it actually looks quite nice. And then you have the actual product here. So this is what we'll be selling in this tutorial. So now that we know, all right, in my specific case, I'm going to create a business name and a business around this specific product. So remember, going back earlier, this is the lemonade stand, okay? So this is the lemonade that we'll be selling, and specifically sourcing this product, this is the lemon that the supplier is providing. So let's use this as an example. I will go into more detail about how to find these products in a moment. But for now, let's go back to the business name generator. And what I'm going to do is think about what is an appropriate name for this specific product in itself. All right, so it's a massager. So maybe let's use massage as the keyword, and we'll generate names. So we can go ahead and use this as a brainstorming tool to look at certain keywords or brand names that might suit the product. So some pro tips here is you want the product name and the store name to be relatively short. That way it's easier to remember, and also the URL will be shorter. And then beyond that, make sure that you also check that the domain name is actually available. The tool that I use to grab the domain name is Namecheap. Again, I'll leave all the links in the description box below, so it makes it super easy for you to access. And beyond that, I thought about a brand name, and I think I'm going to go with ergomassager.com. And let's click check. Let's see if this is actually available. So it'll run a check, and then it'll tell you if it's available or not. And indeed, there's a tick. It's available at $12 per year. And the reason why I went with this specific name is because I am selling a single product on this store to start off with. And so I want it to be very clear what exactly I am selling. Ergo at the front, which stands for ergonomic, just to add some pizzazz in there. So go with ergomassager.com. So I'm going to go back to our first trial link, and then we're going to type in Ergo Massager, just making sure that this is available as well. And yes, it is available. So I'm going to go ahead and enter my email address and password and create this store. All right, cool. So now we have the foundation for our e-commerce store. We're now on the back end of Shopify. So once you've filled out those details, you should be on this page here. And then we're now ready to move on to the next few steps. Number 3 is finances. This is a very common topic beginners get stuck on. Should I get a new bank account? Do I need to become a sole trader or set up a company? What bank accounts do I need? So I'll do my best to help you with some of these questions, but obviously each person's situation will be different depending on where they're from. I'm not a qualified accountant, and this is not financial advice. Please seek a professional if you need financial advice. But here's a few pointers from my perspective. Create a new bank account for the new business you're about to create. Yes, you can get away with using your existing bank account if you're starting off, but as soon as you start making sales and it grows, you want to get a business bank account and structure your business correctly. Get yourself also a business credit card. As soon as you have business expenses for the same reasons as above, you don't want to be mixing, your weekend drink expenses with business purchases. The next thing is set yourself up correctly on PayPal and Stripe, which is how we're going to collect money from your customers into your bank account, which I'll show you how in a moment. Notice how I say correctly. In the past, I didn't set up PayPal correctly, and basically they held my account for weeks, and that was an absolute nightmare because my store was growing really quickly and I couldn't accept PayPal orders, which cost me literally tens of thousands of dollars in orders. To set up these two payment methods, we're going to land on this page here first. To find this page, click on the search bar and type in payments and click on the first option. This is the easiest way to get here, or you can simply go to settings and then click payment, click activate PayPal, and then it's going to lead you to the PayPal page where it's going to connect your PayPal account with Shopify. If you don't have a PayPal account, that's okay. Or if you don't have a business account, well then you'll need to create a new one. So click on or land on the PayPal homepage and then look for the PayPal business sign up. Then click PayPal for business. Then from here, click sign up and then follow the prompts from here on out. So a few tips before you start signing up for PayPal. Firstly, you need to make sure that you have identification on you ready to go to insert into PayPal. Secondly, make sure and be certain that you do enter your actual identity and your address is completely correct. Where I went wrong in the past is I provided the incorrect address or an older address, and therefore when I provided my driver's ID as proof of ID, it didn't go through correctly because my address wasn't correct. So make sure that you have your name correct, your date of birth correct, and also your address correct. So once you have followed all those prompts, then you can go back into your Shopify manager and click activate PayPal and log into your PayPal account. Then PayPal will be activated and it's ready to go. With Shopify payments, click activate Shopify payments. And you'll be notified if you're doing business as an individual or sole proprietor. And this is sort of what I was initially talking about. But just click this and click complete setup. Depending on if you've provided enough information up front when you're signing up for Shopify, you may already be set up ready to go for Shopify payments. In this case, I am. If you're not, that's okay. Just follow the prompts and enter in your address, your ID, and all that good stuff, and you should be ready to go. It's that straightforward. So the difference real quick is Shopify Payments allows you to pay through all these credit cards, Amex included, Apple Pay, Google Pay, and then PayPal is a supplement because many people actually use PayPal. It will affect the amount of people buying from your store if you don't have PayPal ready to go. Now onto the fun stuff, time to find the product you actually want to sell. We're on the products page of our new Shopify store and it's completely empty. So as you know, I already have the product I want to sell ready to go, but let's go over how you'll find a product to source and sell to the world. We'll be using AliExpress, as I mentioned earlier in this video, to source our products. It's basically an online directory of suppliers and products we could source products from and be able to drop ship. So that means we only need to pay for the product when we already make a sale, and the supplier then packages and ships out the product to your customer one by one. So this is a really large directory of products, and you can obviously sell whatever you like. And I'm a believer that you can sell almost anything with good marketing strategies. So it's quite overwhelming when you look at this at first, but here's my tip. Keep this in mind when we look for products. You want to either, number one, solve a problem, or number two, if not solve a problem, you want to have the product have a sort of unique factor to it. So let's randomly click on, let's take a look at this product here. So this is another electric neck massager. So maybe just to quickly go over this solves a problem. People that might have neck pain, let's exit that. People that might have neck pain, that have back problems, headaches, this solves an issue for them. And so there is a driving force for them to purchase this product. Again, if this doesn't solve a problem, then you want it to have a unique factor. So let's quickly take a look at, going back to the example of that skylight. So Galaxy projector light. This has a very unique factor to it. So it doesn't solve any sort of problem really. So let's click on this item here. This doesn't solve any sort of problem, but what it does do is it has a very unique appealing factor to it, which is it emits this, amazing light show in any room, and it's portable. And so this would be great for people that enjoy, galaxy, stargazing, astrology, that sort of stuff. So you can easily target these types of people on Facebook ads by interest targeting and place this product in front of them. So this is just an example of a unique product that doesn't necessarily solve a problem, but that's okay too. So keep those two things in mind. And beyond that, when you start diving deep into these products, what should you look for? How do you know this is the right product? Well, a few things. So firstly, it's trust and credibility. You can take a look through that by just taking a look at the ratings, the number of reviews received, and then the type of reviews that are being typed up, and the number of orders for the specific product. Sometimes you'll see that there's a lot of reviews, but very little orders. Therefore, those are obviously fake reviews. But if you click reviews here, you want to also take a look at the product quality. So you can get a gauge of product quality by going through the star reviews. I personally like to look at the 3-star reviews, which is typically fair. They're not, just hating on it for absolutely no reason, and they're not just loving it for no reason either. So, taking a look at an example here, product itself meets my expectations, whereas on the shipping product, very long wait, blah, blah, blah. So overall, it seems like this is a good product, but the shipping times is a little slow. And that's another thing you need to be considerate of. So taking a look at how long it might take to reach your target market. So they have a warehouse in the United States. So let's take a look at that and then deliver to the United States. And let's take a look at what methods we have. So delivered before March 2nd. So yeah, it's slightly slower. So that's about 3 to 4 weeks wait. But there are plenty of other options out there where you can actually achieve 2 weeks in shipping time on AliExpress alone. So take a look into product quality, trust, credibility, content available as well. So how many images and videos do they have ready for you to use? Though I do recommend over time that you take your own, shots of the product, and therefore you can also test the product quality yourself if you ship it over to yourself. You can take a look at the product. If it looks good, you can take your own content. And finally, supplier relations. So you can actually message the supplier and have a chat with this person. And supplier relationships is so important because if you have a product that's working for you, and let's just say you go over to the store and click contact now, for example, which I need to log in. But point is, if you click contact now and have a chat with this person and they never get back to you, they never reply, there's a chance that they might close shop on you and with no explanation at all, with no communication. That is a bad supplier relationship. So make sure that you have some sort of a relationship with your supplier simply by reaching out to them initially. Or if you start to make sales, see if there is a relationship there that you can start to forge. So in our e-commerce mastery course, we go into the specific steps and strategies to take to find a winning product that will sell and has healthy profit margins. So I'll leave a link in the description box below if you're interested in this course. But now let's just say we are interested in this specific product, or actually let's go over to the neck massager that I was looking at earlier. And how do we import that over to our new store? Well, we need a bridge to gap between AliExpress and our new Shopify store. And how you're going to do this is, let's just find that product again. So let's go with this product again. What you're going to do is go into apps And like I said, this is a completely new store, so we're doing this all together. Click visit the Shopify App Store, and we're going to download an app called Oberlo, which is a partner app to Shopify. So it's this app right here, and this is going to act as the bridge between AliExpress and Shopify. There are different options you can use besides Oberlo, and there's a time and place for these. If you're a little bit more advanced, then feel free to check out my YouTube channel because I do go into detail about other alternate apps. So for this sake of this video, this is the go-to app for beginners. So click add app. Go ahead and insert your email and password and create your new account. Then just fill out this form and answer a couple questions. Then now we're on the Oberlo homepage. So this is connected to our store. So again, just think about this as the bridging app. Click on the import list button here so we can start to import AliExpress products over to here. Then click add product by URL or ID. So you're just gonna import and copy and paste the product URL that we're going to import over. This URL over here. Then I'm going to paste it down here and click add product. So now that it's imported, it's not actually over in your Shopify store yet. We'll need to push this over to our Shopify store. So you can change the title and select a few options here. I'm not going to do this because I want to edit it inside of Shopify. But a few things though, you want to edit a few things like which variants you want to bring over to the store, any images that you want to include. In this case, I want to use my own images, and I'll speak to why in a second, but I'm going to actually remove all of these images here. And then with variants, we will have to change a few things. So we'll want to remove neck massager because the color is just white, blue, and pink. And then we'll want to change the price. So like I said, I wanted to sell this at roughly $60. You can click change all if you want to bulk edit, by the way. And the compare to price is if you want to set a sale for this item. So in this case, let's set this at $100, which means that, you know, that's roughly a 40%, that is a 40% discount on this item. So let's look at this. Yeah, looks all good. And description, like I said, we will change this later in this video. And the title, we'll just call it neck massager for now, or smart massager. And that's that. So also, Oberlo has a suggested price based on a few of their metrics that they provide, but it's ultimately up to you on the price points that you want to set. This does depend on a few things, but ultimately you do want to test and play around with the price points. Once that's all done, click import to store. It's now imported to our store, and we can check this by going back into our Shopify store and clicking products, and it should be there. So as you can see, it's just updated and it's now appearing on our store, and we can start to edit it from here. It's actually an updated trick and hack that you can use on AliExpress. AliExpress has a relatively new function called the Dropshipper Center, and I'll leave a link down to it in the description box below. It is a little tricky to get to in the AliExpress interface sometimes, but once you sign up for a new account there and you head onto this link, click I have read and agreed to the terms, and click next steps. Basically agree to both, and then add in your personal information. Then click submit. So why this dropshipping center is so useful is because you can find products to sell and you can actually analyze products. So if you click product analysis, what we're going to check out is how does the neck massager that I want to sell perform? And not only that, how reliable is the supplier? So, you know, we talked about we need a reliable supplier. And so we can't just, you know, contact the supplier and ask how reliable are you? We can actually now check through the product analysis. Let me show you right now. So if we take this URL here and go back to the dropshipping center and copy and paste and click analyze, you'll be able to see not only the sales volume, which is also very important, you can also see the logistics reliability, and they have an excellent track record. So anything around good, excellent is great. Above average is great as well. But this metric here is based on how fast they ship once they receive an order and how fast your supplier responds to customers too. So logistics reliability is a great metric to look out for if you want to sell a long-term product. So this is a great, easy way to find products to sell and also to analyze products. So that is a great tip, an updated tip for you to use. So make sure that you use this dropshipping center when you look for your products and look for your supplier. Now at this point, we have your foundation set up. So we have an idea of the product we want to sell. And now at step number 5, let's start creating our brand. We've got to think about 2 things here to start off with: your brand's logo and a website address for your brand name. So let's get stuck into how to do this. As you can see, this store is looking very, very plain at the moment. So let's start building out your brand. The first thing we're going to think about is that logo. So with a logo, the easiest way to do this is with Placeit. And this is something that I've recommended time and time again. There is obviously a few ways to go and create a logo, but with Placeit, it's a really easy way to get up and running real quick. So if you go into Placeit and click logos and click logo maker, I'll show you how this works. So we're going to go ahead and just type your brand name. Then pick your industry. This will impact the type of logo that you do see. In this case, let's just go with chiropractic for now and let's see how it looks like. We can change this in a second though if we don't like it. So what it does is it essentially produces a whole bunch of logos and different text for you. But you can of course custom manage this yourself and you can edit it if you like. But I'm not vibing with this right now. I think it looks way too medical. We want something a bit more, a bit more modern and a bit more succinct than, like it looks like we're going into a health center here in this case, but we're selling a product here and not going into a health center. So let's go with something different. Maybe let's go with abstract. You can even choose your graphic that you like specifically, but we want Placeit to provide us with suggestions in this case. So I think this looks far better in this case. So there's actually a few that I already see that spark my interest. So the first few actually looked quite nice. And the goal here is to get something that is unique to your brand to an extent. You can always update your logo later on, especially if it starts to grow rapidly. But the point here is to get a logo that reflects your niche or your product. So I'm really feeling this one. I'm also feeling this one here. This one's also quite nice, but let's keep it relatively simple. So let's click this one. And as you can see, it's actually a technology logo as categorized by Placeit. But in this case, we can edit it a little bit here. So we're gonna delete media advisory, ergo massager. The font looks fine to me. If anything, actually, let's go back and I'm gonna have massager down here. And let's remove it up here. I think that's looking much nicer. So the point here is to have it quite tight. And I also want to make this a little bigger though. So let's see what that looks like if I make this a little larger. So this here, I think I'm pretty happy with this. I went with a more horizontal layout because I want to have a horizontal logo for the store's banner. I'll show you what that looks like in a moment, but I'm pretty happy with this. So actually let's move it a slightly bit to the right because I'm a little OCD, and I think I'm happy with this. All right, so with this, what I'm going to do is now click download. And then I'm going to get this image in multiple dimensions, and then I can edit it and crop it to my liking. So I'll show you what this looks like overall. But what we're going to do with this logo is we can repurpose it for different platforms. So what I mean by this is, for example, with Facebook ads, and Facebook platform and Instagram, we're just gonna have this single logo as our avatar, as our social icon. So I'm gonna click download now. And basically we're gonna save this on our desktop for now. So just leave it as is. We're not gonna update the store just yet. I'll show you in a few minutes. But the next step we wanna focus on before we start updating our store is the URL, because we now have our store name, which is Ergo Massager. We're gonna go into our domain section of the Shopify store. You can head there over in when you head over to online store, and underneath that domains, you're gonna come onto this page here and click buy new domain. And I'm gonna show you an easy way to do this, or a cheaper way to do this actually, but I'm gonna show you, this is the easier way to do this, but so just type in our domain, ergomassager.com. And you can see here, it's $14 USD a year, but the go-to domain purchaser that I use is Namecheap, like I said earlier in this video. And if we type that in again, and click search, we have it here for only $8.88 per year in comparison to $14. So that's almost half the price. So usually I just buy it through Namecheap, and then I connect it by going back and then clicking connect existing domain. And then I type in, ergomassager.com and click next. And therefore I just follow obviously I haven't purchased it yet, but basically once it's purchased on Namecheap, I just follow the instructions and connect it through Namecheap. Once you've connected your domain, it's going to take up to 24 hours to propagate. So what that means is it's going to take 24 hours until you can actually use that URL to head over to your store. In the meantime, take this logo, all right, take your new logo and create a Facebook page and an Instagram page and use this logo as your avatar. I'm not going to guide you through how to create your Facebook and Instagram page. It's pretty straightforward. You just go into Facebook and Instagram and create new accounts for your business. I know it's a pretty long tutorial, but like I said, I want to make sure that we go absolutely over everything for you. But if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. Now let's move on to step number 6. So moving on to step 6, designing your custom store. So ideally with everything we created so far, you would save it in a folder, sort of like this. And right now I have the logo, the horizontal logo, and the favicon. The favicon will be the small image that appears on the website tabs on browsers. I'll show you more about this in a moment, but that's what I have so far in this folder. So let's start with the store theme and start building out our Shopify store. So now click on online store on the side. And then we don't have a theme installed yet. So we're going to choose a theme. So scroll down and click explore free themes. So obviously it's your decision. If you want to pay for a theme, you can go ahead and pay for a theme. But in this case, it's easiest just to start with a free theme. So because I only have a single product, we're just going to stick with a very simple theme. If you're going with a general store, then it's best to stick with Simple, Boundless, and Venture, for example. But in my case, we're going to go with Debut, which is already the pre-selected default theme. But you can go with default or light. In this case, let's just go with light. Click add to theme library. Then we're going to click customize to begin customizing this theme. So from here, you've got a blank canvas essentially, right? First thing we're going to do is insert in that logo right here that we've created together. Click header and click select images, and then click upload and upload your image. For obvious purposes, for the header, a horizontal logo looks best. So that's what we're going to do. So click open and then upload it. Now, we're going to start playing around with the color theme as well, just to make sure that everything looks consistent and your store looks, legitimate. So click select, and then right now it's far too small. So let's move this up a little, and that looks a bit better. Let's make it a little larger than that actually. So what we're going to do now is match this brand color over to the rest of the store. So right now the menu bar, for example, is completely white. It just makes this look like an eyesore. So you're going to take the color code of this blue and then match it with everything else. So I'm on Google Chrome right now, and I have this really nifty tool and where you can pick the color from the page and it gives you the hex code. So click that. And then as you can see, I'm just going to click on this blue here. Then I've got the color copied to my clipboard, which is extremely useful. Then I'm going to go paste it in the background area and click paste. And as you can see, it is now seamless. Though right now, you now can't see the two menu buttons up here. So what we're going to do is go onto the menu area or the buttons area. And then with the primary buttons, we're going to have it as white. And also the secondary label. And the headings and links. And the body text. So as you can see, already it looks far nicer, and we have this nice consistent brand color and the menu buttons right here, which contrasts the menu, the top bar menu. So we're also going to change the fonts because Arial looks so basic, or Helvetica actually, but either way, point is it looks really basic. So we're going to change this and go with something that is more fitting to our brand logo. So I like Maven Pro, but in my opinion, the menu doesn't stand out much. So let's bring up the boldness a little. All right, that's looking fairly decent. I think that might be a bit too bold. So let's stick with medium and click select. And the body text should be fine too, but we probably don't want the body text as medium. We want some sort of contrast. So we're going to turn this back down to regular, and this should turn back down to regular. There we go. So it's already looking far better, as you can see. I really like the color theming here. And so we're going to continue on. Now we're going to change the favicon. Like I said, this is the very, very small icon that will be served on the top of the browser bar. So as you can see here, it's currently the Shopify icon, but of course we want our own personalized brand icon there. So I'm going to upload the icon, and then when that loads, click select and it will load it up. Now I'm going to go in and insert in images and product images throughout this page here later. But as of right now, I'm going to remove some of these things, like for example, featured collection, just because we're not selling multiple items here. So you can just go back and you can see here that you can play around with these little like block tiles. So featured collection, as you can see, we can move this around. We can also completely remove it, which is what we're going to do. And so we're going to click the three buttons up here and click remove section. So we've just removed that. And after this, I'm going to go play around with the home page and insert in images. But as of right now, let's continue on. The next thing we're going to do is set up the checkout settings. So the checkout page, is actually really, really important. So if you click the cart bag and you see the cart page, you can manage some options here. But more importantly, when you do have the when you do have the product in here, so if you click on this product here, obviously we haven't configured it just yet, and click add to cart, right? Then you can click view cart and hit checkout, which by the way, I still need to update the button coloring. But this page right here is also really important. Now, don't forget to update this page too, because it's completely separate to the the store. So click theme settings once more, then click checkout down here, and then basically mimic what you've done for the home page. Scrolling up to background color, we don't want a background image. We're going to copy and paste the exact same hex code for your brand color, and it should update as we can see there. But I probably want some sort of contrast, you know what I mean? Because it's just too dark at the moment. So if we bring this out, let's take a look at that. This might be a bit too intense with the color contrasting. Yeah, that looks a bit flimsy. But basically, you're just going to play around and see what suits your store, what suits your color palette. I think that looks a little better. Let's bring it out a little bit here. Okay, look, that looks much better. Then, of course, you're going to, don't forget, upload your logo. And what I'm going to do actually once that finally uploads. There we go. Let's actually, logo size, I'm gonna have it as large. What we're gonna do is bring this color palette over to this side of the panel and basically switch them up. So here's what I mean. And I'm going to leave this up here, and we're going to switch the color panels here. Every little detail counts, and that's what that's the point of this. You'd be surprised that even color palette really helps people go through the checkout page and pushes the conversion rate up, which means more purchases overall. So that's far better, as you can see here. So we wanted some contrast between the preview panel here and the actual checkout option here. And I think that looks pretty decent for now. You can go ahead and customize the accents, the buttons, the errors. Let's actually change the accent for the button right now. So as you can see, actually we'll leave the accents as is, but what we will change is the button color, just to give you guys, just to show you guys what it looks like. So as you can see, this looks far better. The color contrasting looks really nice with that dark blue. And already this is looking pretty decent. I'm really liking this so far. So click save. Make sure you click save before you exit this page, by the way, guys. It's been many times where I've been customizing the stores and I didn't click save and had to start over again. So we've got the checkout page ready to go. And the next thing we're going to customize is adding menus and pages. So going back to, let's exit out of here. So going back to that store, right, we only had 2 menu buttons at the top. So what you're going to do is click navigation underneath your online store, and we're going to manage the menu bar and the footer menu. So a few things that you probably want up front is, firstly, yes, leave the home button there. But the catalog you might want to change. So I'm going to delete that completely because this is a one product store. I'm going to have the actual product in the menu bar. And then it's going to link directly to the product. Now you can link directly to a collection. You can have multiple collections up there. You also want pages on contact us. And so we'll have to go into pages and actually create that page. So I'm going to quickly go back and click pages. And we're going to firstly create the contact us page. Click save. And obviously there's a few other pages that you probably want up there. Things like track your shipping. You definitely need privacy policies. You need various policies. And then you want that in your footer bar too. So just to show you quickly how to do this, go back to navigations. Whoops, see what I mean? I've got to save it. All right, let's just say this one's test. Click save. Then go back to navigation and then go into your main menu, and let's just change this up. So I'm going to delete this now, remove, click add menu item, call this contact, and then link it to that contact us page once you've set that all up and it's ready to go. So I'm gonna click save menu. Also, that didn't save. Smart massager directly to the product, and click add and click save menu. I'm just gonna readjust this as well and bring this above the contact. And then that's it for the main menu for now. And then with the footer menu, of course, this is where you're gonna have all your privacy policies. So you're gonna go ahead and generate those policies and create them as pages and have them all down here. You also want an FAQs page. That's extremely important. And whatever else you think that you might want on the footer menu. But this is very important, and make sure that you do this. Just want to show you how this all works. Just have that as test down here. Click save menu. And then just to quickly preview the store now, you can see here that we've got the color theming up, and we also have down here, we need to change this, by the way, the color theming looks really bad. But we've got quick links down here, and then we've got, the home, smart massager, and contact right here. So this is looking way better already, just within, 10, 20 minutes. So the next thing we're gonna do is, firstly, we don't want quick links as the footer menu title. So we're going to go back into the online store and then click customize. And we're going to change a few more things. So we're going to go all the way down here. And with the footer, we can customize a few things. So we can customize how the layout looks like. If you want to show your payment icons, I usually just leave the payment icons there. And then we're going to change the... Also, by the way, you can have a currency selector, so that's totally up to you. If you're going to be, selling to the entire world, then you probably want the currency selector there. This option has taken over apps as of recent, so that's a great option to have. But anyway, let's change the quick links title. So you can see here, I'm going to add in the footer menu, and then we'll change the heading name and just call this, customer care. Let's call it customer care. That's what I usually call it. Click save and then go back out to quick links, delete this. And we'll have obviously the customer care above newsletter. And also you want to make sure that you add your socials down here too. So you can easily do that by going back and then going into, where did it go? Themes, settings, go to social media, and then add in your Facebook page. So let's just say we've created our Facebook page and it's like / logo massage, for example. So you'll automatically get the Facebook icon here. And let's just say we have an Instagram as well. So let's type that in. And that'll pop up there too. So it's looking pretty nice so far. So our footer's looking pretty decent. We have our menu bar looking pretty decent. And I'm gonna go ahead and change up the images here too. So now let's move on to optimizing your product and store. So if we click on the product, as you can see, this is horrendous. We're gonna be working on this right now. So we're gonna be working on a few things. So let's move on to the product now. All right, back onto the product page. Let's start working on crafting a masterpiece here. So we are going to start with the description, and let's talk about the description for a quick bit. So how I like to personalize the description and structure it is I have a tagline at the top. This tagline basically captures the attention of the reader, and you want it to be short, sharp, and nifty, and it captures their attention. So let's work on one right now together. So this is a product that has many benefits. It is there to essentially alleviate pain, to soothe, and to potentially give users long-lasting relief when it comes to neck pain, headaches, and back pain, all right? So bearing that in mind, let's start on crafting some copy here. So this is essentially copywriting, writing for the product. Okay, so let's talk about the unique selling points here. So alleviate and soothe your neck and shoulders, and say goodbye to tension and headaches today. Just 15 minutes a day for lasting relief. So I'm gonna open up the ad copy, the product copy, with this single sentence, and this will hopefully hook them in to read the rest of the product description. Now, that's the hook line, right? I like to structure the rest of the page with headers or dot points, and then like paragraphs. So here's what I mean. So let's take a look at the, going back to the neck massage product. Take a quick look at what the actual features are, and we want to translate these features into benefits. So let's spruce it up a little bit and call it something cooler than, stainless steel and, the boring type stuff you see on AliExpress. So let's call it like pulsation technology. Let's dot point this actually. So what I'm doing here is dot pointing the features and the benefits, and then I'm going to add paragraphs to them. Then, instant relief and posture correction even. That's actually mentioned on the AliExpress listing. It's also basically fully customizable. Ergonomic design. And yeah, I think that's good for now. Look, what I'm gonna do is take some time to write out the ad copy. I'm not gonna let you sit here and watch all of that because that's gonna take some time, but I will explain what I'm doing after this. So with the magic of editing, you'll see this within a second. All right, so welcome back. Coming back here, I have built out the dot points and the benefits. As you can see, the point here is, no pun intended, the point here is to build out the benefits and to entice them into reading each point. So pulsation technology, uses safe electrical pulses and heat therapy to unlock blood flow and unwind muscle tension within minutes. This proven technology can be used on a regular basis for lasting relief, etc., etc. So the point is to build out on the benefits of the initial point. The point here is to capture the attention and to really sell the product. That's the point of the product page. But there's a few things missing here. If we land here, this is going to be the feature image. We don't want that, all right? So I'm going to change this and use this as the feature image because it's a far more aesthetic image and it shows the remote control too. So I'm gonna click save. And a couple more things is if we click save and then click preview, all right. And by the way, you can now see that favicon that we're talking about earlier in this video right here. I think it looks pretty schmick, so that's quite nice. But if we go down here, this is looking far better, but it's still pretty clunky. There's a lot of text here. We need it spaced out in a way. And over the last year, I really found animations, GIFs to work extremely well. And here's what I mean by this. I'm giving you some real good knowledge bombs right here, right now, but I've collected some GIFs to insert into here. So here's what I mean. There's an image that I want to include into the description. And then more importantly, I'm going to actually demonstrate the product within the description underneath a relevant section. So maybe, under instant relief and posture correction, I'm going to insert this GIF. And this is a very, small file that you can insert into the description box. And this is a terrific way to demonstrate the product. This is really, really important if you have a complicated product like this, where you're selling it at a, relatively high price point. I mean, this isn't a high ticket item. This is a mid ticket item. And then finally, I created another gift just of the product itself, just to, make it look rather aesthetic. And I'm going to insert this at the bottom here. So, underneath ergonomic design, it really adds to the point. So this is looking way better already. However, this isn't done yet. Let's do one more thing, or a couple more things actually. So I usually have, again, if you have a product that has multiple items within the packaging, you want that listed out. It's a unique selling point. I usually have a what's in the box section. I bold and then underline it. And then I dot point it once more. So let's hit the dot points. And then I have, the smart massager in there. Let's remove the underline. And then I have a wireless remote controller, micro USB charging cable, and instruction manual. And then I'm going to unbold some of these. And there's that. So let's click save and take a look at this now and check out how it looks. I think it's gonna look pretty schmick. Yep, so a few things I wanna do first off though is, if I had the time, what I would do is I would take this into Photoshop and I'd actually make it transparent. I don't want that white background on this nice blue dark background. Of course, I'm gonna change the buttons here to make it contrast the blue as well. And taking a look at the text and the GIFs, this looks far better. So you've got that nice, basically you've got that linear type of reading direction where they go down, they take a look at the images, they read some more, and they take a look at the GIFs. This is what you want. This is truly selling the product. And then beyond that, we'll have customer reviews down here, which I'll show you how to do in a moment. But this is looking far better. This is what we want to get out of the ad copy and the product description. So one of the things that you want to do here is if you have variations of your products, you want to make sure that the correct variant is matched up via an image. So what I mean by this is, see here, there is no, product image here for each color. So if we go back here and if I click, if I want to change to blue, it's still the main image. That's not ideal. You don't want that. So go into here, click that variant image button. and select the right image. So for white, you want to click the white variant, and you can usually get these images straight off AliExpress anyway. The blue to blue, and then the pink to pink. So let it load, click the pink, click done, and click save. Now this way, you automatically get that variant appearing if I click blue. So there we go. It's just such a more seamless experience, and that's the experience that you want your customers to have if they're to purchase from your store. All right, so that's that. Moving down, make sure you edit the website SEO, and the most important part is this URL here, you want it to be short. You don't want it to be like smart massager for girls and guys / blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Like, you just want it short and sharp, and that's that. Make sure you enter a description and a page title for SEO purposes. SEO purposes means, long-term traffic that comes through search engines. All right, so that's that. And I think I'm pretty happy with this so far. Obviously, I'll tweak it a little bit more with organization down here. You can add it into any collections that you might have, any tags, especially if you're selling in a very large store, a general store, then you want to make sure you tag your products correctly and you put it into the correct categories. Now, let's move on to apps. So let's go into apps, and then we've got basically no apps here. So we want to visit the Shopify App Store and then take a look at the apps that we definitely need to install. So here are my few recommendations. Firstly, I have to mention that I have another dedicated video for the most up-to-date apps. So take a browse on my YouTube channel. Subscribe, by the way, if you haven't yet already. Go over to my YouTube channel and check out the apps video, the latest one, and then download all those apps. But that being said, let's take a look at the most essential apps that you should use right now. Look, the first app that I basically always download when it comes to building new stores is Ultimate Sales Boost. Why do I do this? Well, because this app right here is essentially like a bunch of great apps all in one. It boosts conversions and it increases purchases overall. So we'll definitely want to add this app. This app is great for adding some trust badges, scarcity, that sort of stuff. I'll show you in a moment. So that's the first app that you want to add. The second app you want to add when it comes to reviews is either, Shopify Reviews or Looks Reviews. It's totally up to you, but download a review app. That way we can grab reviews and insert reviews at the bottom of the page here. And that's so important. Just quickly taking a look at Ultimate Sales Boost right now. So what you want to add here is, well, essentially up to you, but I don't like to flood the store with, a whole bunch of, it just looks tacky. If you have all of these appearing together, it looks so tacky. So the few things that I do like to have is this free shipping button. All right, so let's just take a look at this. Click select template. So if we turn this bad boy on and have free shipping on, all right, usually I like to change it around, but I don't actually like to have it on the image. What I do like to have it on is, let's go down, where is it? So this one right here. So let me turn this off actually. And I like to have this on here. So, free shipping included. And let's just click save for now. But the point is, there's quite a few nifty functions that you can add in and activate. So I'll just let you go through this app and activate what you like. But if we now go back and preview the product, so going back into the products, click this, and then click preview. Actually, it might not work on the preview because there's this weird thing where it's not live and it doesn't connect to the apps. All right, so it doesn't. So going back into, let's preview this right here and go into Smart Massager. So this should pop up around here. Yep. So again, I need to actually update the theming of the color theme of this store. But as you can see, it automatically inserted some trust badges down here. Now, this is totally up to you if you really want to go with this. Sometimes I don't think it's necessary, especially if down here you have the badges here anyway. So it's totally up to you. Just don't be too generous with how many options and badges you have on the page. You don't want it to look overcrowded. So that's a really important point. Now, a few more things that you probably want. So going back into the App Store, click Visit Shopify. The next thing that you probably want is, if this loads, Form Builder. All right, so this form builder, there's plenty here. So I usually go with Hulk apps. And so you can click add app, and essentially what this does is, let me show you a screenshot here, is it adds a contact us form really easily. So right now, if I were to go into contact us form on the website, all right, go into, where did it go? At the top, click contact, it's just a blank page. You can't actually insert an aesthetic form in here because it's a page. So what you're gonna do is use this app, create a form essentially. So it's gonna look like this, all right? Then you're gonna get a piece of code. Then you're gonna go into this page here and basically insert it in. It's that easy. That way you get a proper contact us form. And whenever someone signs this form or fills out this form, it goes direct to your inbox. So that's really important too. So I could spend all day here sitting, going through the App Store and recommending the apps that you should download it. But I do have another 10 to 20 minute video completely free on my YouTube channel. So go check that out after this video. Honestly, my channel is a whole host of library of useful videos for you to build your e-commerce store. But again, if you're looking for like a step-by-step dedicated video lessons and you want my guidance and join a community, then go check out the e-commerce mastery program. But anyway, that being said, let's move on to the next step now. All right, so we're almost there. Now let's configure your Shopify store settings so it runs perfectly. And like I said earlier in this tutorial, get you paid when you do get your sales. So I've spent more time in this store and I've updated the store to take advantage of some new Shopify features. And this is what I've come up with. So we've got a full screen experience here. We've got the branding. I'm pretty happy with how it looks. And when you scroll down, we have some unique selling points down here. Then we've got a call to action, get yours today with a shop now button, some Shopify store reviews, and a map. So also I've updated the footer menu down here too. So if we click shop now, this is the product page. So we've got it relatively clean. And on the left-hand side, I've also included a customer reviews box. Extremely important to have this over here. And of course the description. So before we actually go live, there's actually a few more things that we need to do back in the settings page. So go back into your settings page and click on general. So let's go over a few things here. So in general, make sure that you have all the details filled out here. So make sure that you have your store name properly filled out and it's not the original name that you signed up with. Store contact email and the sender email. And then the store industry, this is important to update. Usually it should be set initially at other, but this is in case anything happens with your Shopify funds. Shopify actually audits you based on the benchmarks per industry. So this is why it's important to actually update your store industry. Of course, your legal business name, your phone, street, apartment, blah, 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 all that good stuff. Your time zone, metric systems. This is especially important if you're selling, for example, jewelry, where they do need to see the weight of the product. And then the prefix, all this stuff is basically what is shown on their invoices. So you don't want to have something extremely random. You want something that relates back to your brand name. Therefore, customers can actually identify what they purchased on their invoice statements. And store currency is probably one of the most important parts. So if you didn't already know, as soon as you go live, you can't actually change your currency in the future. So it's so extremely important to allocate the primary currency to your store before you go live. And that's something I can't stress enough. So in this case, we're predominantly selling to the US. So I'll be changing this to USD and then I'll click save. Now going back out, there's a few more things we need to look at. And the next thing we want to look at is the checkout system. So the checkout system, this matters because we want the checkout flow to be as seamless as possible so people can easily just breeze through the checkout. Usually with customer accounts, I like them to be on, but they can be optional. We don't want to force people to sign up for accounts because you're going to lose sales in that way. But having customer accounts allows people to come back to your store and easily purchase things without filling out things over again. This stuff, the customer contact, this is totally up to you really. Form options with full name. I actually require first and last name for email options. So when I'm able to reach out to customers, I can use both their first and last name. Company name, I hide that. Address number line 2, I actually hide that because most of the time they can add their apartment number, unit number, whatever it might be in the first line anyway. Shipping address, phone number, that's totally up to you. This is if you're doing SMS marketing, well, then obviously you want this on. Tipping, I don't show tipping. Order processing, this is again up to you. After an order has been paid, do not, this is important actually, do not automatically fulfill any of the order's line items, especially if you're doing drop shipping. In this case, we're using Oberlo and we're drop shipping, so you don't want to automatically fulfill any of the order's line items. We want to do it manually. So after an order has been fulfilled and paid, yes, you can automatically archive the order. And that's about it. Abandoned checkout, customized emails. This is when people don't actually check out and then you want to send them an automated email saying, hey, what's up? You haven't checked out yet. Here's just a reminder if you want to check out, blah, blah, blah. I usually send this within 6 hours. And then, to email subscribers who abandoned their checkout. You can actually go with anyone, but this might piss people off. Again, that's kind of personal preference. It depends on your wider marketing strategy, but I could talk about that for like hours and hours. So I'll leave it up to you. And then click save. Okay, going back out again. The next thing is shipping. Of course, this is so important. We haven't touched on this just yet. So when it comes to shipping, this is again depending on what area or what part of the world you're shipping to. So if you're going worldwide, well then you'll need to set up a general rate worldwide. If you're shipping to just the US, then you need to do that. If for any reason you want to charge people differently based on per region, you can do that. But in this case, because we're drop shipping, we can actually cater to most of the world. So we can click manage rates here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go, and I'm actually going to remove this because again, we're just shipping to the entire world. So rest of world, all right. And then you can add rate. You can add as many rates as you want to, but in this case, we're actually going to go with free shipping. That's what we're offering to absolutely everybody. So it's free shipping and it's worldwide. The price is $0. Click done. Now I'm going to click save. And so make sure that the shipping is from Oberlo if you're using Oberlo. That way we can drop ship. But again, this is up to you on how you want to approach your shipping rates. Again, this goes into marketing. So if you want to go worldwide, simply ship to rest of world and then add your shipping rates down here. Then we're going to save and then go back out. So finally, we want to manage taxes. So taxes is really important. Make sure you're actually set up to appropriately manage your taxes. This is something I go into detail on in e-commerce mastery, but again, I'm not an accountant. So if you are starting to make, a buttload of sales, you definitely want to reach out to an accountant and make sure that you have your T's crossed and your I's dotted. This is extremely important. If you're not collecting taxes properly when you're making a load of sales, then you're going to have a big tax bill at the end of the year and you could potentially run into tax issues. So I don't want that to be you. So make sure that you do your research up front. Again, I can't even give you any advice for this because I'm not a qualified tax accountant, nor do I know where you're from. Taxes change dramatically from region to region. So do your due diligence is my point here and do your research. So make sure you set this up though before you go live, depending on where you're from. Overall, once you've managed all of that, you can feel free to dive deeper into things like notifications and plans and permissions and stuff like that. You should have an overall glance at every single setting before you go live. But there is one more very important thing before we go live. We're finally at the final step, number 10, going live and testing your store. If you got to this point, well done for making it this far, and we're just about to launch your store to the world. So this is exciting stuff, but make sure you test your store before it goes live. There's nothing worse than having customers come to your store and then you're unable to actually make a purchase because there's issues with the store or the checkout process, for example. There's a few things that could go wrong potentially. So I'll show you how to properly process a test order and make sure your entire store is working properly before it actually goes live. So you must test your payment system before you actually go live. I've had students where they go live and they're asking me, I have so much traffic coming through, I have so many customers coming through, but they're not checking out. And there's many times when it's because they have an issue with their checkout process. So the way to do this, and I'm surprised not many people do this, you click into third-party providers and you click and use Bogus Gateway. It's pretty funny name. Bogus Gateway, it's strictly for testing, okay? So we're actually going to simulate a test order. This isn't just checking out, this is completely checking out with a payment provider. So number one is to simulate an approved transaction. Number two is to simulate a declined transaction. Number three is to simulate a gateway failure. So ideally you want to test all three, and you can easily do this by using the following code in place of the credit card number. So in the credit card number section, you use 1, 2, 3 and test all three transactions. So the first thing you need to do is click bogus for testing, and then for some reason you have to deactivate Shopify payments and give them a reason. I don't know why, but anyway, I just click on other and just type out testing and then click activate for testing. And then once this is all activated, and by the way, after this is all done, make sure as well you deactivate Bogus Gateway. So going back now into the store and just refresh this page, click add to cart, or you can directly click buy now. I actually have a sticky button up here now too, and I'm gonna click view cart. And then I'm gonna click checkout. You're gonna go ahead and fill it out as you usually do. So, just type in a fake email here, test, click continue to shopping. Then I'm gonna go with that free option, and it's currently free. Click continue to payment. And as you can see here, you've activated Bogus Gateway properly if you see that B logo over here. All right, and this is the important part. This is where you're going to test the three different options. So we're going to test the option 1, which is an accepted payment. So you can add in any name of the card, any random date, let's go 22, and any security code. Then same as shipping address, and then click pay now. As you can see, it's completely worked. The order has come through for $180 with the payment method of bogus. Then what you're gonna do is actually go back into the store, click on orders, and you should see a test payment over here. So this is completely working now. As you can see, if you go into home or you go into analytics, you should see a single order here. There we go. So we have a single order here and it's working properly. So go back in, test option number 2 and 3. Just basically make sure that your payment is working properly. And once it is, go back into your payment section, disable Bogus Gateway, and then turn on your Shopify payments. Then you're all ready to go. And so that's that. Congratulations on designing, creating, and setting live your first e-commerce store, or potentially second or third store. Now that your store is completely live, I have a bonus chapter for you, how to actually get customers. You've got this awesome new platform to sell on, but how do we actually, get customers to come to your store and buy from you? Well, there are plenty of great ways to do this. Some examples include paying for ads on Facebook, Google, and Snapchat. Number 2, posting content on your Instagram page, creating a following, and then pushing them over to your store, or paying for influencers to shout out your store, and giveaways. So creating a full tutorial on this would take another hour, but you can check out my completely free tutorials to get traffic and customers to your store on my YouTube channel. And I'll leave some links to some great beginner videos I've created in the description box below to really help you get kick-started. Making that first sale will also be the most thrilling sale. I remember when I first created my store within a week, threw up some Facebook ads and was amazed at the fact that someone across the world would appreciate the store and product so much so that they took out their own card, paid me for my efforts, and now the business is automated and orders come in every single day. So if you're looking to fast track your store and secure profitable sales ASAP, check out our mastery programs where we go into a lot more detail and give you over 70 step-by-step video lessons to design the perfect store and get a flood of paying customers through. You can find more details if you're interested about the mastery programs below, and I highly recommend you check them out if you're serious about starting a real side hustle this year, so you don't waste the time and effort like I did when I first started out, and you can learn from my mistakes and get the support that you need to succeed up front. If you enjoyed this video and found it useful, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more weekly videos. This tutorial took quite some time to make, so your support in the form of a few clicks is always so much appreciated. So thank you in advance. I'll also leave on screen here some more useful videos to help you on your journey in your building your business. And don't forget, all the links and tools I mentioned throughout this tutorial are in the description box below.